I recently picked up a brand new medium format camera, the Mamiya RB67. I do already own the Pentax 6.7. It's a great camera system with a fantastic lens. I own the 105 2.4, but I just find I don't pick it up to shoot as often as I would like. I actually came across a really good deal on a RB67. This is the ProSD model. I just thought I'd try it and see which 6x7 camera I like better. So why the Mamiya RB67? It's a completely modular camera system which allows you to change the lenses, the film backs, and the viewfinders, and you can configure it however you want depending on what you're shooting or your shooting style. The rotating back allows you to change from landscape to portrait orientation without having to physically turn the camera on its side. So that's super handy, and the viewfinder makes it easy to see. When you change it to landscape orientation, there's two red frame line indicators that show you your frame lines for the landscape mode. The waist level finder also has a built-in magnifier, which makes it a lot easier than the Pentax 6.7 to see what's in focus. I find with the Pentax, it just has this circle in the center with fuzzy dots. And in order to tell if it's in focus, once the fuzzy dots are sharp, that's how you know. It's pretty difficult to my eyes to see what's in focus, especially if I'm not wearing glasses. I just find the magnifier a lot easier. Another benefit to the Mamiya is that it is a bellows focusing system. That basically means that you can focus up a lot closer to your subject, and it just allows for more creativity. If I decide to do any studio or strobe work, which I would like to try out sometime, the Mamiya has a leaf shutter system which allows you to sync at all shutter speeds. The Pentax, however, only syncs at 1/30th unless you can find a leaf shutter lens. Shutter speeds are limited on the Mamiya up to 1/400th of a second versus the Pentax at 1/1000th. The Mamiya RB67 ProSD, which is the model that I have here, this is the latest model of the RB67 series before they released the RZ67. It kind of has mechanical light seals versus the foam light seals, so you don't have to worry about those degrading and replacing them. It also has an upgraded film back, which allows you to put the dark slide into the back. So it just has a nice little holder there. You can put the dark slide on the side, kind of like that, but it doesn't hold it as well. I think the ProSD backs are a little bit better. After shooting the first few rolls with the camera, I thought I would mention a few downsides. I find with the KL lens, not only do you focus with the bellows system here, but it has a floating lens element, which you also focus here. So the first couple rolls that I shot, I actually misread for some reason the distance scale. So instead of feet, I was reading meters, and that just kind of threw the focus off a little bit. Another thing is that the distance scale on the side measures the distance from the subject to the film plane. I was kind of using it as a distance from the subject to the front of the lens, which is not correct. So I was missing focus with the distance scale on the side. One thing I thought I'd mention, because I was just ever so slightly off, and that distance from the front of the lens to the film back is quite significant. Despite what people say about the Pentax 6.7, the RB67 I find is much bulkier, much heavier, and a lot more cumbersome to carry around the city, walking around and shooting. It's definitely meant to be on a tripod in a studio, but it's still a fun camera to use every day. For my camera specifically, I have a back that doesn't really work properly. Something to do with the pins not lining up or something, but when you advance, there's like a little red line that's supposed to go away, and that indicates that you are able to shoot another frame. For me, it doesn't go away, and the only way I can get it to shoot properly is to advance it and then move the multiple exposure lever up and then back down. And then when you have film loaded, the red indicator line will go away and then you can shoot it as normal. I shot a few frames during a storm, hoping to shoot some long exposures and capture some lightning. However, I didn't actually properly look at how to shoot long exposures on the camera, so I did it completely wrong. I thought I would just set the shutter speed to T and then use a cable release and just hold the shutter down as long as I wanted the shutter to be open for. However, that's not how you do it. All you have to do is set the shutter speed to T, press the shutter, and then you can either push the lever to cock the shutter just ever so slightly to close the shutter, or you can press the bulb to close the shutter as well. I ended up getting some interesting results. I got a lot of shaky lines because I had picked up the camera while the shutter was still open, but yeah, now I know. Since learning how to properly take long exposures, I went out to shoot some sample photos and put it into practice. Overall, I have been enjoying using this camera a lot. I find it a lot more fun to use and shoot over the Pentax 6.7, despite it being heavier and bulkier and less ergonomic to use while walking around. I would like to try a prism finder and an Instax back. The Instax back is the closest thing to shooting Polaroid without it being actual peel apart Polaroid film. And I'd also like to try shooting with a wider lens, so I'd be on the lookout for a 65 or a 50mm in the future for things like landscapes. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.